Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre market this morning, stock index futures are fairly quiet right now. Commodities are moving higher with gold leading the way. It's trading up over 5,000 once again on Wednesday morning. At the same time, Bitcoin is trading lower in the pre market. Now, yesterday morning, I mentioned that JOLTS numbers were coming out. I misspoke. They're coming out this morning. So we do have some economic numbers coming out today that could help change the direction of the market. We also have crude oil inventories coming out at 10:30, and that could change the direction of the energy sector. Looking at the fear index, it moved up yesterday for the S&P 500, for the Nasdaq, and for the Russell 2000. The VIX continues to trend higher while the stock market is trying to make higher highs right now. So a big disconnect between options traders in Chicago and stock traders in New York. Now, Bitcoin continues to move farther away from the $100,000 target this morning, according to myinvesting.com app. Bitcoin's trading down about $2,000 in the pre market. We also have Ethereum trading lower. And of course, if Bitcoin's trading lower, the bear ETFs are trading higher. And we did hit a couple of targets yesterday. We got higher than the 2266 level in Toronto, almost got up to the 2422 level. So if you had an order in at the 2266 level, it got filled. So hopefully you've got an order in just below the 2422 level. And then in New York, we hit the 2656 target yesterday. And now we're looking to see if we can move up and hit 2813. And hopefully you've got some orders in up at that level. Now, moving on to the Canadian market, and we got battered on Friday. We've come back on Monday and Tuesday, being led higher by the metals, which have recovered somewhat. And currently, gold is trading around $5,000 this morning. So there we are, trading up to the lower channel line for the TSX. Look at last Friday's low. That certainly took out all of the gains for 2026 if we had to stay down there. We are starting to recover, but look at this nice wall of resistance up here that could certainly hold the market in check if we continue to move higher on Wednesday. Now, materials worked yesterday. Infotech did not work. So, of course, within the materials sector, you've got gold, you've got base metals, and here we are trading up to the lower channel line on Tuesday. The energy sector also put in a good day. It was up nearly 2% on the day. What didn't work, Infotech was down. Technology stocks in the US were down as well. So this is the weekly chart from last Friday. Our next major target was 62.50. We actually traded below that yesterday, but then came back and closed at $63. If you follow this along, we're back at levels we haven't seen since last April. So quite a tremendous loss for the technology sector coming into 2026. Looking at real estate stocks, still on a sell signal here, no change in trend. And then one of the biggest, the biggest loser on the TSX 60 was Thomson Reuters, and they were down nearly 16% on the day, and certainly no change in trend there. Looking at the S&P 500, we tried to take another run at 7,000 yesterday and then failed. We got as high as $6,993.08 on Tuesday before pulling back, and then we zoomed all the way down through the lower channel line before recovering at the end of the day. So still down to $58.63 on the day. We put in a new low yesterday. We traded below last Thursday's low. Certainly did not close down at that level. So it would be more significant if we closed below there, but we certainly did not do that. And then we're still watching the January low to see if the market wants to go down and retest that level. Well, anything software related got crushed on Tuesday. There is the cloud computing ETF, there's digital payments, there is cybersecurity, all of those areas of the market getting crushed. And they all led to the equal weighted NASDAQ being down over 3% on the day, heading right back down to the November low. And we'll have to see if that low holds going forward. Now, Salesforce was the biggest loser on the Dow. PayPal was the biggest loser on the NASDAQ. And then we also had some honorable mentions of Intuit gapping lower. Then the IT consulting firm Gartner Group gapped lower yesterday, big down day for Expedia. And then we had Equifax also gapping lower. So a lot of carnage at the same time, not a lot of trend changes in any of those stocks. Looking at the U.S. most actives, and we're doing this by the price volume weighting. NVIDIA, being the biggest company, had a huge down day yesterday. It's back on a sell signal. No change in trend for Tesla. Then Apple made a new high yesterday for this move before pulling back. Then we had a new high for SanDisk. So hardware moving up, software like Microsoft moving lower. Then another hardware company, Micron, pulled back 4% on the day. And then we had a new high for Google, which of course is mostly advertising. Then we had Meta pulling back. So Meta gapped last week. It went up, filled the open gap from back in October, and then has been pulling back ever since. Then we've got Amazon still on a buy signal here. No change there. In the pre-market yesterday morning, we looked at Palantir trading up into the channel. At the end of the day, it closed below the lower channel line, so no change in trend for Palantir. Let's finish off looking at the TSX most actives. And again, these are volume weighted, are price volume weighted, excuse me. So these are the biggest companies in the country, TD Bank being the biggest company at the moment. And they've ended the day on a buy signal by 9 cents. We've got the Royal Bank back on a buy signal. New high there for Bank of Montreal on Tuesday. Bank of Nova Scotia basically treaded water, just down 3 cents on the day. New high for this move for Enbridge, hitting our next price target. So hopefully if you had an order up at that level and took some profits yesterday. Constellation Software making a new low for this move, going down with the rest of the software sector. Again, no change in trend there. Then we've got Barrick moving up to the lower channel line yesterday. And then we had CIBC making a new high before pulling back. Still not hitting our 130, 125 level. We did trade above the 130 level, though, so that is no longer considered resistance. And then last up this morning, Manulife, after making a new high on Monday, we had a small pullback on Tuesday, just down 55 cents. No change in trend there for Manulife. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. I have a blood donor's appointment later in the morning. I hope you have one scheduled in the not-so-distant future. So far, it looks like it's going to be a fairly quiet open for stocks, but, we've seen a lot of volatility show up after the market opens these days. So expect the unexpected on Wednesday. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Thursday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.